The latest two pieces of news surrounding the Lions have shaken things up in Detroit, and for good reason. On one hand, a debut full of ups and downs that may have cost a rookie his shot at earning a bigger role. On the other, a trade possibility that once felt like a fantasy, but is now gaining traction and stirring things up behind the scenes. There's a cloud of uncertainty. Key decisions are looming, and the team's immediate future could shift more than anyone expected. And all this is happening just as the season starts to heat up. But let's begin with the most pressing issue, the offensive line. Giovanni Manu just got his first real taste of NFL action, starting at left tackle for the Lions in their 37-24 win over the Bengals. On the surface, it wasn't a total disaster, just 2 pressures and 2 sacks allowed. But one of those sacks turned into a costly fumble, and it might have been enough to shake the Lions' trust in the rookie, at least for now. With Taylor Decker still dealing with that ankle injury and potentially missing more time, the obvious question was whether Manu would get another shot to start against the Chiefs. Dan Campbell's response? Let's just say it wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement. In typical Campbell fashion, he gave the kind of answer that basically named every available offensive lineman without committing to anyone. "We'll see," he said, before dropping names like Dan Skipper and Devin Cochran and reiterating that Decker is still the top priority, if healthy. The gist? If Decker can't go, they'll weigh all options, including but not necessarily favoring Manu. Now, that doesn't mean Campbell threw Manu under the bus. He actually gave him a bit of credit for holding up decently in the run game and showing some flashes in pass protection. But the rookie's inconsistency, especially those moments where Jared Goff got clobbered, stood out. Campbell framed it as a learning experience, the kind of painful lesson you only get from real NFL snaps, not preseason fluff. Still, if you're Manu, hearing your coach openly name other dudes in the mix just days after your first start isn't exactly comforting. It sounds like the Lions are leaning towards Skipper getting the nod if Decker can't suit up in Kansas City. Now get this, a longtime dream of Lions fans might finally be on the verge of coming true. And this just came out. For years now, Lions fans have had one dream trade they just wouldn't let go of. And for once, it might not be so far-fetched. We're talking about edge rusher Cameron Jordan. Ever since Dan Campbell took over in Detroit and brought a little New Orleans flavor with him, fans have kept their eyes glued to every former Saint hitting the market. But Jordan? He's been the white whale. Now, for the first time, there's actual smoke. Word is the Saints might start shopping some of their veteran talent around the bye week, and that includes Jordan. This feels like one of those classic end-of-an-era moves. A respected vet who's given everything to one franchise gets a shot at chasing a ring with a contender. That's exactly what the Lions are shaping up to be. The fit? Pretty solid. Jordan still has juice, and he'd bring even more bite to a Lions D-line that's already causing problems. Veteran leadership, playoff push, elite defense, check, check, and check. But here's where things get tricky. Jordan has spent his entire 15-year career in New Orleans, and he's made it clear time and again he wants to retire a Saint. That loyalty isn't just talk, it's been his whole brand. Still, we've seen similar stories take a sharp turn. Remember when nobody thought Patrick Ewing would leave the Knicks and then boom, magic jersey? So yeah, it's rare, but it ain't impossible. Then there's the question of value. From the Lions side, are they really going to give up a draft pick for a 36-year-old edge rusher, even if he's still producing? It'd have to be a late rounder. And from the Saints side, what's the point of moving him if the return is, say, a 6th rounder? He's on a cheap end-of-deal contract, almost vet minimum, so it's not like they're clearing cap space. Bottom line, this trade only goes down if Jordan himself signs off on it. If he decides he wants one last shot at a title and Detroit makes the call, maybe, just maybe, it happens. Otherwise, don't hold your breath. Now, that doesn't mean Detroit and New Orleans can't strike a deal elsewhere. There are other veterans to keep an eye on. Guys like Chase Young, yes, still relevant, Quincy Riley and Jonathan Bullard could be on the move. The Saints are listening, and the trade deadline drama is just getting warmed up. If Manu hasn't proven himself yet, the Lions need to act fast. And if the chance to bring in a leader like Cameron Jordan is real, it's now or never. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything coming up with the Lions.